Hello, YouTube, and welcome to Jurassic Park. Wait, no, that's not right. Hey, everybody, I'm Brick Smith, and welcome to Forever Sorting with Kevin A. Hinkle. Not to be confused with Kevin B. Hinkle, my man out in Arizona, bricking it up. There's a special shout out to him right there. You guys, welcome to the everlasting, forever long sorting story of the life and times of Kevin
Of me,
Hinkle.
of I.
Yep.
So far.
So far.
It doesn't mean forever.
Yeah.
So far.
It feels like forever. Feels like forever.
But it still feels like the very first time.
It does. It does that. So I got Kevin. Kevin's here. Kevin's working on. Oh, I'm jumping the gun. It's been so long since I don't know.
You're losing the formula.
I know. Here we go. So as you guys know, like I said, this is the life and times of Kevin A. Hinkle. He worked for the Lego Group, and now he is doing a tell-all episodic YouTube show.
This is my video memoirs.
There it is, folks. One day he'll make it out of Lego.
One day.
Another real quick shout out and thank you to Brick Czar for coming on the Short Sort. I know this isn't the Short Sort, but as you know, me and Kevin also do a show called The Short Sort.
There's another thing we do. Yeah. If Julian had his way, we would probably have 14 different shows, all in current production.
You know, it is a thing, you know, and if Kevin doesn't get on the ball, I'm going to find somebody who wants to play with me.
Hey, all right, no comment. So here we are today.
Kevin, how can they find you on the internet?
So I can be found on all forms of social media under the username at Mr. Kevin Hinkle. That is Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Flickr, all the stuff, all the social medias. And if you have an interest in following just my artwork, because I am a freelance artist, you can follow at Mr. Hinkle Draws. That is as well on all social media platforms and here on YouTube, where I do videos on my art endeavors. So you can follow either of those. I would appreciate it if you have an interest. Thank you for joining us again for another episode, for listening to me talk and Julian also talk, and we talk quite a bit.
Hey, I just real quick what do you do? Who are you wearing, Kevin?
Who am I wearing today?
Who are you wearing, Kevin?
So, you know, a couple episodes ago, I had a self-realization moment. Call me dumb, call me naive, I don't know. But I said, you know, why am I not wearing the things that I design when I record episodes of Forever Sorting with Julian?
Good question.
I don't know why. I just, you know, I do care what I look like, obviously. I try to pick out cool shirts to wear.
I do not care, folks. Care less.
You care a little bit because we're in Jurassic Park right now. But, you know.
This was Kevin's idea.
Don't even.
It wasn't Kevin's idea for me to wear that, but he did call it the Jurassic Park.
I did call it the Jurassic. The Jurassic.
I don't know what he's talking about.
But I had not really worn a lot of the stuff I designed. I've actually designed quite a few articles of clothing. And so for those of you that have been following the series, you'll know a couple episodes ago, I started wearing shirts that I've designed. So I have a new one on today. I'll angle the camera down a little bit, not too uncomfortably.
Oh, that's comfortable.
But this is the newest shirt from the Hinkle shirt subscription service, Cafe Corner.
Hi.
Cafe Corner brand coffee. Obviously, this is a fusion of the iconic modular building Cafe Corner and the iconic Starbucks logo. Hopefully it is properly derivative of both articles, because you'll notice this is not the full Cafe Corner. It's also not the full Starbucks logo. So we have a nice little mix mash of that.
I like the word amalgamation.
That's a beautiful word. It's a beautiful word.
Hashtag all this and brains too.
I love it.
Right here.
Back off, ladies. So
naked.
This is the newest shirt from the Hinkle shirt subscription service. I just got it in the mail yesterday, I believe. So if you have an interest in this, just go to bricksonthedollar.com. That's my partner, Chris. He runs that site, and that's where we offer the shirts up for subscription. Every month you get a new shirt that I design. And if you're not really interested in the long-term subscription plan and you just want to kind of pick and choose which ones that you really want, we actually have
Pikachu.
Pikachu, pick and choose.
Oh, okay.
Pick and choose. We just launched another route that you can go with the shirts on Chris's Amazon store, on his Amazon merch store. So you can buy the castle, the yellow castle, which was our very first design back in June. You can buy that now. And also on January 1st, the monorail design will go back up. So we're going to be rolling with a 6-month exclusivity window.
Now, I'm going to interrupt Kevin because he didn't tell all the secrets. Now, when you get over there to the Amazon, you can pick your own background color shirt.
That's right.
The shirt color, because I choose red for all the shirts. That's my choice.
That's very true.
Kevin can attest to that. But yeah,
Drew is a big red fan. Is red your favorite color?
Red is my favorite color. How could you tell?
All right.
But yeah, I got one more quick question, Kevin, before we get started and where you left off about a month ago.
Yeah.
About Arizona. But here's the question: what are you building?
What am I building? So I finished actually. So all right, here's another peek behind the curtain.
There we go.
As sadly, I don't sort a lot when we're not doing this.
Lord,
I know, almost like not at all.
Yikes.
And I also do very little building, which I hope to change next year. So when you guys join us and you see me building or sorting or putting away, there's a good chance that was all of what I did for that entire week in that setting. I know, I'm ashamed. But so, from last time I was disassembling stuff last time, and I finished that and put it all away. So today I've cracked open a brand new Lego set. This is the Creator Space Shuttle Explorer 31066. I believe this is a current year set. No, 2017.
Yep. I'm gonna let you embarrass yourself. It's cool.
Whoops. So that's what we're building, and of course I'm building the A model. I'm not building the either B or C model, which which are this little like Mars habitat thing, or this like kind of like the Curiosity rover, but not really.
Busted low budget.
Right. So I will move so you guys can look at my hands building.
There's Mario again.
He's still there. He's still there.
I moved mine off of the table, but there he is.
Yahoo! Yippee! Hopefully this time I don't have another weird, like, embarrassing extra part thing that happens. But I don't think I followed up officially, but when I did that Captain America set,
yep,
and I had that 2x2 yellow round plate that, for the life of me, I could not find why I had an extra one of those.
Correct.
I took that whole thing apart piece by piece, rebuilt it, and that was still extra. So that 2x2 round yellow plate was somehow an extra part, which is very unusual to have that big of a part be extra. But
nice.
It was there. I don't know how to explain it.
There you go, folks. There you go. Kevin said it. Of course, Kevin got the extra piece. Now, there's a gentleman, and I'm going to relay this quick story because somebody's got to fill some time. There's a gentleman named Fantastic Bricks out of Canada. He picked up about 40 of the Hulkbuster sets with the Incredible Hulk. Yeah.
40?
Yeah, like 40. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
When they went on sale up there in Canada. And so he opened them bad boys, and roughly, and I cannot remember the exact number, but there was roughly 20 of them had double Hulks in it.
Double Hulks?
You heard what I said. I don't know how Kevin didn't hear about this because he was at the Lego group at the time, but this is a true story that really happened. Fantastic Bricks. You can go check him out. If you scroll back far enough on his Instagram post, he shows off how many Hulks he got.
That is a hashtag double Hulk.
Double down Hulk. I wouldn't say double Hulk. I'll stop interrupting. I'll stop.
And also, can I say for the record, this astronaut here He has that kind of classic space logo thing on his chest.
It's all blurry. Nobody can see it. Back a little bit.
Maybe better. I don't know.
Yeah, that seems all right. I don't know.
But, it's the classic space logo, but it's like the whole thing has been tilted.
Yeah.
So that the spaceship looks like it's just crashing.
Well,
I don't know how I feel about that.
What is happening?
I don't know. I mean, I can guess that they're trying to indicate that it's just orbiting a planet, but it just looks like it's. I mean, ships going down indicates crashing or
Correct.
landing. So it's kind of a weird choice.
Oh, do better Lego.
Oh, but have we distracted enough? Have we?
No, I don't know if we have. I think we could probably look at more squirrels.
You know, if last episode taught us anything,
yeah,
is that we could go on and on
and on and on.
Everything not related, not related to the main episodic tale.
Exactly. So I think this is Happy New Year. If it's Happy New Year. Oh, by the way, real quick before we move on. One more rabbit hole. I'd like to thank everyone who comments first on our videos.
First.
I truly appreciate it, and thank you very much for following directions. If you're not commenting the word first before your comment, please do so.
Please adjust accordingly.
Please adjust accordingly. I didn't ask Kevin about it, but I feel good about it. So, hey, Kevin, what are you drinking?
Oh, just black coffee.
Just black coffee.
Just black coffee.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks.
So,
yeah. Where are you at?
Where are we? So, you know,
we are past. All right, you're there. Reed packed you up, and you moved to Beverly.
Yeah, moved on up. I'm already there. And Dan did a good job at providing an extra perspective that is not just my own.
Correct.
The situation at which I was entering into a brand new store in Chandler, Arizona. So it's time to just start working. It's time to get to work.
Time to grind, folks. Time to grind.
Time to grind. And I had a lot of things to learn, and I had a lot of things to teach. So, you know, as I had mentioned before, the one unique aspect of kind of growing up in a Lego outlet store versus a regular Lego brand retail store is we were exempt from quite a few things. We were exempt from a lot of display opportunities in the window because we didn't have the regular things in the window to put them in. So as I had joked about many moons ago, sometimes we would get a directive to set something up, and it would be this, you know, packet of paperwork and instructions, and it would say, "Oh, by the way, Colorado Mills, Atlanta, you know, Ontario Mills, please flip to page 160, whatever." And so you'd have this packet go, and it'd be like the last 3 pages, and that's our directive.
Right.
And it's like, "Oh, put poster in window, done." All right, I can do that. So I remember being at Chandler, it was like a whole new world for me because I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I actually have to read this whole 120-page instructions.
Hold on, Kevin. I've known you more than a day and a half.
Yes.
You cannot tell me that you never read the entire directive prior to going to Arizona.
Well, so here's the deal. Here's the deal. Obviously, every store was given the full directive every time. And I can say with certainty in my experience, I had read the whole thing a decent amount of times. After so many years of it not being relevant, I stopped and I started skimming. So be like, all right, let's find it. You know, so I had, of course, in the past, but it had been quite some time before I had actually really in-depthly looked at the instructions and go, what do I need to really do?
No.
And so the first, what we call window launches, when you're usually launching a brand new Lego product theme, and you need to set up the front windows to celebrate that theme, I was a little caught off guard at how much work was involved in putting that up. So, you know, hey, kudos to all my brothers and sisters in arms that had been doing it forever and ever, and we hadn't. And so that was definitely a learning. But there was also a lot to be taught. There was a lot to be bestowed upon my staff as a brand new, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed store manager.
Yes.
I was there to hopefully make a difference and turn this store around, and I really wanted to prove to my district manager, the nice lady who gave me the opportunity, that I deserve to be there.
That's it.
And you know, of course, there's a little part of my ego that's I wanted to do better than Eric.
Oh,
like, you know, he's the guy, and you know, that was better off for the Colorado Mills story than I was. And so now that I'm in a different place, all right, you know, I'll take lemons and make it into lemonade, but I'm going to be better than him. That was my goal.
I mean, how hard could that be, considering he didn't even love Lego?
Right.
It comes down to, and I hate to interrupt you, but it comes down to the fact that, yeah, he did retail, but he didn't love what he was selling.
There is a difference. You can definitely tell when somebody, you know, you don't have to be obsessed about something, but if you are knowledgeable about the product that you are offering or selling, it makes a pretty big difference in everything you do.
Absolutely. The passion.
The passion, indeed.
Yeah. Sorry for interrupting you, but I just put that out there.
That is what it's all.
Turns out that I'm kind of insightful, and I didn't even realize it.
You are indeed insightful. Of course. So some of the things that I wanted to change, I think I've already talked a little bit about, but there were some basic things that needed to change. Like, people didn't take lunch breaks. I think we discussed that.
Yeah.
You know, people were, of course, they wanted more hours, they wanted money, but it's also a really quick way to get to burnout and people just being miserable. I was like, well, you guys need to take lunch breaks, for heaven's sake. So we got that fixed up. We got people taking lunch breaks, and there was some pushback in the beginning. But Kevin, if I take a lunch break, I'm going to miss out on X number of hours this week. I was like, well, but when I scheduled it, I kind of scheduled it thinking you were going to take a lunch break. So, so we got that fixed up. There was also some more simpler, like, administrative and logistical tasks that weren't really being upkept. They needed to get fixed, such as logs and things that actually needed to be filled out. Yeah. Oh yeah, you need to do this, and someone needs to count it or sign it or what have you. One of the characters in this story that I haven't talked too much about yet, because I haven't really started working with yet, was my brand new assistant manager.
Oh, nice. And ladies and gentlemen, I have no knowledge of anything that's going to come from this assistant manager. He hasn't passed on any stories. He's waiting to get a legitimate reaction from me live.
That's what how did you know?
Oh, come on.
It's what it's all about. So my assistant manager was not picked by me. This was picked by the district manager. She chose me from Colorado Mills, and she chose this other individual. His name is Jeff. She chose him from Arundel Mills in Maryland. So there's a Lego store there, and he was a supervisor. So we were both moving up one spot to move to Arizona, which is nice. But I had no knowledge of who he was. I had never spoken to him at all. But, you know, I always give everybody the benefit of the doubt, so I was looking forward to it. What I did not realize was Jeff came from a very different Lego management style. Different doesn't always mean bad.
Right.
But he disagreed with a lot of ways that I was trying to make changes. And unfortunately, Jeff did not want to come to me and tell me that he did not like my suggestions or directions. Instead, his way of addressing the problem would be to basically put the staff in the middle of a fabricated fight between us.
Oh, lovely.
Which I know is not an isolated incident in the world of retail or food service or anywhere.
Or the world.
Or the world.
Yes, but it is always a classy move
It is.
When you do that, folks.
And
do better.
Luckily, obviously, I found out one day that this was happening. I want to say, actually, the first person to alert me to this was Dan, who was on our show.
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and he was like, "Hey, just so you know, every time you tell us to do something, Jeff says that's not right, and do it this way."
Yay!
I'm like, okay, well, that's not good. And I brought this up to Jeff. I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And he would tell me why he would think that my way was wrong, and he would give his opinion, which I hope he would. I wasn't looking for some lackey that would just do anything I would ever say. But I was like, "But Jeff, I have a problem with the way you're going about this because you're not bringing any of these things to me. You're just going straight to them and telling them to disregard what I've told them to do.
Yeah.
And do it your way. And you're causing a division in our store, which I'm not going to allow."
Oh.
Because I was not about to allow that.
Kevin is going to put his foot down on Jeff's neck.
But I will say, I wasn't very angry. I was definitely frustrated, but I wasn't angry at him. Yeah. Because there will be a time when I get angry at him, and that did not happen. I was frustrated, and I was like, "What are you doing, buddy?" Because I really also wanted us to get along well. That was really important.
Sure. That's a good dynamic when the managers get along and we can have a peaceful and united store.
And that was important to me in my management style. Was I wanted the management team to be a team.
Absolutely.
I don't want it to be, there's the store manager, he does it this way. There's the assistant manager, he does it that way.
Yeah.
And then here's supervisor X, supervisor Y, supervisor Z. She does it this way. He does it this way. I want a unified management team.
Yeah.
And so, one of the things that was really important to me was to start a ritual of having a management meeting.
Oh.
Not something that we did in Colorado Mills, at least during my time there. It might have happened after I left.
Okay.
But so we would have a store meeting once a quarter. So once a quarter on a Sunday evening, usually Sunday because the store closes earlier, you would have the entire staff there after hours, probably pizza is being served, and you talk about whatever. I had found out that the Chandler location had pretty much never had one of those. Yeah. I was like, well, all right, so we need to have a store meeting pretty soon. But I also wanted to start having a monthly management meeting. And so my proposal was once every month, me and Jeff and our supervisors, which I believe we had 2. We had Michelle, who was mentioned briefly, and Mary was not there anymore, as we know. Right. I think there was one other person. I can't remember.
Now, let me ask you before you move on real quick. Once Mary left, were you able to replace her? Did they have her the new manager or the new supervisor in place before you got there officially?
It's a good question. I'm trying to think.
Question, baby. That's it right there.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like you're being able to pick your management staff very easily.
Right. Yeah. No, I think at that point now it is fully my rodeo.
Okay.
But I'm trying to remember because I know there wasn't one supervisor, but I can't remember who the other person was.
Okay.
So for context, everybody, I never thought this when I took the job and when I was going to be there. I never thought this, but I only lived and worked at this Lego store in Chandler for 9 months.
9 months.
That is it. Of course, I did not think, oh, great, I can't wait to move my family so that I can move again in a year. And we'll get to that later. Yeah. But for me, because it was such a brief period of time and because the next chapter and the next chapter, I feel like had a lot more in it. Some of the details are fuzzier for me for Chandler.
Good. We'll be in and out of Arizona in maybe 5 or 10 episodes, folks.
Probably. So yeah, we started doing a managers meeting, and my approach to that was to take a a day of the week. Saturday, I think, was the day I picked. And we would meet early. So we would try to meet before the store opens and have like a breakfast somewhere in the mall. And, 1 hour, and just talk about stuff. So that was something I wanted to change. Cleanliness. Cleanliness was really important to me. So one of the other things that was very important in this new location was to make sure everybody was cleaning things and making sure that we as a store were cleaning things. And I was certainly not above expectations. I was right there with them. I was right there with them, changing light bulbs, rolling up my sleeves, cleaning the floorboards, sweeping.
In the back room. Yeah.
I was not trying to escape and stay in the back. So we did a lot of cleaning, a lot of cleaning. And again, this was one of those things where I found out wasn't really happening regularly, if at all.
Oh.
It doesn't necessarily mean the store was a pigsty, but it just, it needed to be maintained. And while this is all going on, I'm kind of in communication pretty regularly with another store manager by the name of Jason. I don't remember if I mentioned him before.
I'm not sure. What store was he at?
He was in one of the California stores.
You might have mentioned it for like a second and then moved on.
Okay, yeah. He was in that kind of greater San Francisco area where there's like 5 stores. And he had been called in to help during the transition.
That's where we know him at. Okay.
So he was there for a little bit. I think all in all, he was there for maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks in the middle of everything.
Okay.
And I could feel the staff were probably all over the place with switching around of managers, and then you have a temporary manager, and then you have a new manager. It's just crazy.
It's fun.
So I was kind of talking to him because, he had been there before me. And, he was also checking in on me, how are things going? What stuff have you done this week? And he kept telling me, he's like, dude, I can't even begin to tell you whatever you're cleaning up. He goes, it was 10 times worse when I was there. I was like, okay. I don't know what that means, but we were making a lot of really good progress.
That means bad business. What that mean?
Yeah, bad stuff. One of the other things that was pretty quickly apparent is we needed bodies. We needed people. We needed a staff. There were people that worked there, but not enough. Not enough. And the people that were there kind of had really, really bad availability. So, hey, I am happy to be there, but just so you know, I can only work Tuesdays every other week from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 7 o'clock in the evening. It's like, oh, well, that's helpful.
Very specific.
Yeah, so we needed to hire people pretty quickly. So we started looking for people to hire on. I want to say that we put a hiring sign up, I think.
Oh.
I think we did. But there was 2 people in particular that we hired, which were very, very, very important. One of them was a gentleman by the name of James, and the other one was a gentleman by the name of Dave. Now,
wait, do you have 2 Arizona Daves now?
No, because that's Arizona Dan.
That was a test.
I know it was.
You passed.
So, what was immediately different about James and Dave than everybody else, and I don't mean this in a negative way, is they were much older than the rest of the staff.
Yay!
So, I don't think it's a surprise. You have a retail store. A lot of the staff are kiddos. They're, college, late high schoolers.
That's what you were when you started.
I know. I just graduated college. I was
You're one of those.
I was just out. And I sat there and I said, you know what? I need to have some adults here. So, of course, we did interviews and we were, following the regular procedure. Sure. And I remember that I was doing interviews. I had Michelle, our other supervisor, I was having her do some interviews. We were swapping people so we could get second opinions on what we thought. I want to say Jeff was helping here and there as well, I think.
Cool.
But so, yeah, we gave out offers to James and Dave. They were They were both in, I think they were really similar in age too. Like it was kind of creepy. Like I think they were the same age. They came from two very different walks of life. So James, family guy, wife, kids. Dave, single guy, but they're both, I think, in late 30s, early 40s. But the really, really important thing about both of them is that they were very interested in a job. They could start immediately. And they had 100% open availability.
There it is.
And I was like, you guys have no idea how badly we need you right now. So we hired those two guys in, and they worked quite a bit. They were my go-to guys for probably the first month, because nobody else could ever work. There was a regular schedule, but it's like, oh, something's come up. Can you come in? Sorry, I can't come in. And like, man, James and Dave always say yes. And so those two guys, I mean, they went weeks and weeks and weeks with getting overtime because they would easily pull in over 40 hours because I would schedule them pretty heftily. But then also everybody else would flake out on schedules, and they would come in and cover. They would stay late. They would come in early.
So I got to know, do you still contact with these two guys, or are they still working at the Lego store in Arizona, or have they moved on to better and better things?
So neither of them currently work for Lego.
Okay.
James stayed for a very long time after I left. James actually eventually moved up to a supervisor role. Then he moved up to an assistant manager role. And then he applied to be store manager. But
yes, we know how this works. He got turned down.
He got turned down. And then they did eventually make him an offer, but he had to move. And because of his kids and his family, he said, I refuse to leave the state. And so because that was his only way, he said, well, then I'm no longer interested. And so he left Lego.
There you go.
Dave was around throughout my time, and unfortunately, Dave walked out. So one day, which we'll get to later, I get
walked out on you?
He did. So,
Lord, Kevin.
I'm sorry. And I think it was. We'll get to that. So yeah. So Dave is also no longer with Lego. He did not last throughout my 9 months there. But let me say again, make no mistake, those two guys spent an enormous amount of time helping me get that store in good shape.
Kudos to them.
They were absolutely critical to what we needed. Because like I said, we needed bodies. We needed people that could help, because it's not a one-person job.
Oh, no.
But, I mean, we were systematically cleaning up and changing everything. I mean, I remember one week it was like, all right, I'm going to clean up the back. And it was all-day affair from, a ridiculous time in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. And I sat in the back, not by myself, but I was definitely part of it. And straightening up everything, throwing stuff away that was just held for no reason, just garbage. Putting stuff that was in similar themes together.
What?
Yeah, it seemed like a good idea, like to put city sets with city sets in the back so that you could easily find all the city sets in one spot.
Sure.
Also, labeling. That was something that probably today seems like a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, there was no real clear labeling system, at least not in our store.
I'm gonna say, is that company wide, or was that just your store was dumb?
I don't think it was a company wide thing. I know it became one.
Yeah.
But I can't say that we were like this one pioneering location that was trying this thing. But I feel somewhat confident in saying that we were the only store in the district. But so I had tried out a thing, which was to get the cheap old, magnet paper that you could get from like a hobby store.
Sure.
You could print out, onto magnet sheets, something like that. It was a sticker or something. Business card magnets, like sheets of business card magnets.
There you go.
Because we had metal racks, like Dan had mentioned, and I printed out the themes. Lego City, Lego whatever, Creator was around.
Yeah.
Lego Creator. And so I would print those on these magnets so that you could move them into different sections as the back was evolving based on stock and inventory. And I just labeled it. And I said, that way you go back there, look, oh, city is there. Oh, creator is there. Oh, architecture is there. I mean, of course, you could see the boxes and the colors, but it was just an extra level of organization.
Absolutely.
And I remember when the district manager, she was visiting us pretty frequently. I think she was also probably nervous. How are things going? This is Kevin's first time as a manager.
Well, here's what I personally believe.
Yep.
She knew your story. She knew your plight. She'd seen your growth, or at least heard about your growth through the ranks, your maturity, your people interaction skills, and your drive to do better in life, and decided, I'm going to give Kevin a shot. One of two things is going to happen. He's going to excel at this store, and he's going to do a great job for me, or he's going to flake out, burn out quickly.
Yeah, sure. That's fair.
Either way, she's covered and got Kevin taken care of.
Yeah. I think you're totally on point.
That's where I think her mind was, which I respect, because somebody gave me a shot like that and I burn out in a blaze of glory.
just like Icarus.
Yep.
Flying close to the sun.
That's it, baby. Yeah.
So my time before then and my time after then, I never had a district manager visit as often as she did during the 9 months that I was there.
There you go.
She was there probably every 2 to 2.5 weeks back in the story.
Now, how far did she have to travel just to come see you?
She was based in Los Angeles.
Now, did she think you were hot? Could that possibly be another reason?
I doubt it.
You don't think she got the hots for you? Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure at the time she had a daughter and a husband, I think.
See, Kevin, you and I are cut from a different cloth. Some people don't care about those things.
Well,
I do what you do, and I'm glad we do, but
I don't believe so, but I guess you can never really find out what's in someone's head.
There it is, baby.
But yeah, so she was based in Los Angeles, and obviously there was many more Lego stores in California than there were in anywhere else. So her being the district manager of that West Coast area, obviously she had a lot on her plate for just California.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was in our store, like I said, probably every 2.5 to 3 weeks, which was insane.
All of the times.
Normally, a district manager is not in your store anywhere near that often. It's probably once every couple months, maybe. But yeah, she was in all the time. So that was also another stress factor, because I was like, I got to make sure things are good when she's here. And I was very aware that because of how often she was coming, I was like, man, I need to make sure it's a little bit better than last time. It needs to be a little bit better than last time. And trying to make these incremental changes for good.
Yeah.
That way she is seeing that the store is developing while she's gone.
Well, yeah.
I think I did it. Hopefully I did it. So yeah, she was in quite a bit. But so one of the things happened. I don't remember if we talked about this, but there was a managers conference right around that beginning for me. Is
this the bus trip? Because you told me about it in post.
Okay, yeah, because we had to go to Orlando, maybe, and yeah, there was a Disney bus thing.
No, I don't remember that one. I'm talking about the one that was somewhere. No, maybe. Okay. Anyway, right. Yeah, I'm confused about things. I don't believe you told us about Orlando.
Okay, so the way it works in the brand retail world, as it does in a lot of different places and industries, is there is a yearly managers conference. And this is for only the Lego store managers. You remember a couple episodes ago, many episodes ago, I was a little supervisor that went to one of these.
He was a little supervisor that could. That's right.
I was a little supervisor that could. And those things have gone by different names over the years. They've been called the Managers Summits, Managers Conference. I mean, they kind of switch out. But so there was one that happened right around when I was just starting at Chandler, and that actually made me quite nervous. Because I'm like, I just got here. I'm just making some changes. I'm trying to establish some new behaviors, and I gotta go already. Jeff, of course, was left in charge because he's the assistant manager, as rightfully he should be.
Yeah.
But I remember while I was at the conference, and the conference that year was taking place in Orlando, so we got to have our meeting at Disney. That was kind of interesting. But the whole time I was there, I kept getting text messages from, not just from Dan, but Dan was certainly one of them, but from people in the store being like, oh, Jeff's doing this, and Jeff's doing that, and Jeff's changing this. And I was like, what is happening? And I will say at that point, too, just for interesting factoids.
I like factoids.
Is the Lego store managers were not provided with company cell phones like most of the corporate employees are.
Gotcha.
Even though a Lego store manager would probably use their phone just as much, if not more, than a corporate person would.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you have a store phone, but you also have truck drivers that need to get a hold of you, and staff that are calling in sick, or so many reasons. That has been since fixed.
Good.
Lego store managers today do get official Lego issued company phones, cell phones, which I think is
Lego,
which is rightly deserved. But yeah, back then my personal phone was blowing up, and I was like, "What is happening?" And I was getting pretty stressed because I'm nowhere near Arizona. And
no, Arizona you could get.
Yeah, I was like, "What is Jeff doing?" So I remember one very drastic thing he did was there was a new wave of Bionicle coming out. I want to say it was the Bionicle Fantoka, that theme, that sub-theme.
Never heard of it.
That's fine. The Bionicle people know.
Oh, I know they know. BZ Power and them, I know they know.
And so in the directive, you had to set up this display to celebrate the new Bionicle Fantokas. And I had kind of started it, I think, but I didn't finish it. Like I started assembling some of the stuff in the back.
Yeah.
And I got a note saying that Jeff decided we as a store were not going to opt in to that display that time.
Wait, hold up. Lego sends you guys directives, and it's not optional, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I want to specify. I want to make very clear that he was not doing better.
Yeah, and so a lot of this was like causing me quite a bit of stress while I'm at Orlando, and I'm like, oh man, when I get back, things are going to be crazy.
Heads will roll.
Things are going to be crazy, but yeah, that is not an option normally.
Oh,
you can't opt in or out to display. It is a corporate-owned store. It's not a franchise by any means.
Right.
So you don't get the flexibility, if you wish, to say, only participating stores will. No, you are a corporate-owned Lego store, and you have a directive to follow.
We'll do as you're told.
And even when there is deviation,
yeah,
it's corporate-directed deviation.
There it is.
Such as Colorado Mills, please turn to page. Not, hey, if you guys don't feel like it, don't do it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, forget it.
So, so I was informed while I was away at the managers conference that Jeff had decided that our location was not going to opt into that, and he decided to discard the stuff I had already pre-assembled, throw it away.
That was great. Good for him.
And anybody that's been to a Lego store or any store, you know what I'm talking about, like these fancy, shiny cardboard things you build in the windows, and like maybe it has a print of a figure or bricks or whatever, and you got to do a lot of folding and a lot of adhesive, and you're building these contraptions, but they always come as a flat box of all cardboard. That's what they show up at.
Yeah.
So yeah, he decided to throw that away.
That was nice of him.
So I was like, all right.
Good job.
And of course, the staff were very confused. Like, we don't know what to do. The boss says this, and the other boss says that. And I told them, I said, we're a management team, and when I'm not here, when Jeff says something, that's just like me saying something. And when I'm not here or Jeff's not here, when the supervisors say something, that's us saying it. So they're really confused at what that means when we're saying different things like that.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah.
So I got it. Hang on. I'm gonna see where you're at. Who did you task to finish that project?
I want to say overall accountable person was Polly Jeff.
So you said Jeff finished this in my leave.
Yeah.
Ouch.
More than likely. More than likely.
Dang, that sucks.
I might have told him like you can get help from other people or whatever, but
Get this done. Get it out there.
yeah. He got it out there.
Yeah, he did. Right out in the dumpster. Good job, Jeff.
Yeah. So, as I had mentioned earlier, I found out over time that Jeff's store and his previous store manager and his previous assistant manager had a very different management style. And they also came from a different district, so they had a different district manager.
Sure.
And this is when all these little tiny deviations become a big problem because, oh, well, we did it this way over here and that was okay. So when I came back from Orlando, I don't think anything of super note happened when I was there. I mean, it was a conference, things happened, we got information, we went back. But he had...
Did you ride the Dumbo ride? Did you ride the Dumbo ride?
Oh, you know what? You know what's something I did do?
Mm-hmm.
Nope, never mind. That wasn't Orlando. That was Anaheim. Never mind.
Okay, because I rode the Dumbo ride in Orlando.
Nice. That's awesome.
I did. I also was able to try and pull the sword out of the stone.
Did you do it?
No, of course not. My daughter. See, 2012. My 7-year-old daughter got to pull it out.
Nice.
Yeah, they let her win.
That means she's what? Queen Arthur? Queen?
There it is. Nailed it.
How do we? Yeah.
You know what? It's 2018. She could be king.
She's a hero. That's what she is. She's a hero.
There you go.
So yeah, so I got back and things are still changing, every day.
Yeah.
But I found out that Jeff's previous store, they had often taken a position where they thought they could opt out of displays if they didn't feel like it was worthy of their market, I guess is a nice way to say it.
Interesting. So the people at that store in that district, they were in charge of marketing and knew what the demographic was that was in their store.
That's what I was led to believe. And I will say that
sorry.
Eventually I got so frustrated with Jeff that I called his old manager, which I really did not want to do because I felt like that was a really kind of lame thing to do.
It really was. I don't know what the outcome was, but you're correct. It's pretty rough there, buddy.
Yeah, I felt that way. I said,
I'm glad you felt that way because I don't know if I could be friends with you anymore if you did.
Right, I would accept that. So I got so frustrated, and I was asking Jason for some advice as a fellow manager in California. Mm-hmm. I believe I did actually call Eric and say, Eric, do you have some advice for me? Because Jeff just continued to try to sabotage me. And I couldn't think of any other better word to describe it. He just kept trying to undermine everything I was doing. And he kept trying to get the staff against me. And I was so frustrated. And eventually he said, he told somebody to start documenting their issues with me. And that they would take it up to the district manager. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh, that's nice.
What are you doing? And of course, the thing that's weird is that the staff were seeing through this, which is why they were all telling me these things were happening.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. So eventually I kind of gave up and said, you know what? I'm calling his old boss. And I called his old boss, and I was like, dude, he's killing me, Smalls. What do I do about this? And I also wasn't really, reprimanding Jeff the way I would a staff member because I thought he deserved more respect than that. I'm like, you know what? Jeff's not a sales associate who's lipping back to me. I'm not going to write him up. He is a fellow member of my management team. He is my right-hand man, and he's been picked to be here with me for a reason. And so I tried to kind of be really light-handed with him.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you doing, man? So his old boss was actually really surprised that he was acting the way he was acting.
No.
He was like, wow, that doesn't seem like him. So he didn't really give me much help because I was like, well, he's acting this way. something happened. Man, what was it? I think it was the report that he had asked the staff to start making a list of their issues or grievances with me.
Yeah.
And I got word of that, and I said, I am done.
Yeah.
I was at home. I remember being at home, and somebody told, maybe somebody left for the day, and they called me, and they said, Kevin, here's the thing you need to know about. And so I was at home. I did not live far away from the store. And I got this, and I stood up, and I was like, I gotta go. I told my wife, I was like, I gotta go.
I've heard this story before. I love this story.
Yeah, I went straight to the mall. I went straight to the store. He was in the middle of ringing a customer on the register. I walked straight up to him. And again, customer was right there. They were in mid-talk.
And if Kevin has anything, it's good customer service.
I mean, it's kind of, yeah. And I totally ignored the customer, looked right at Jeff. I was maybe 6 inches away from his face. And I was like, get outside in the mall hallway right now. And I was not happy. I had a very aggressive tone. I was not yelling, but I was more stern than I had ever spoken to him. And he was like, I'm in the middle of a customer. And I said, I didn't ask what you're doing. I said, get out in the mall hallway right now. And I was pointing at the hallway. The customer, I don't even remember what they look like. But he definitely seemed rattled. He started kind of shaking and stumbling and being a little weird. Obviously, there was somebody else working there. No one was ever alone. Not in this day and era.
No, yeah, not like the old days.
And so he finished the sale. It wasn't much left to do. Gave the customer their receipt and took off his apron. And we walked out into the mall hallway.
Took off his apron.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. So he took it off. I don't know. He just did. Okay. I mean, he was holding it, but he took it off and was walking out with it. And we went out to the mall hallway. Not too far away from the store, actually, but far enough where you're on one of those benches or whatever out in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
He sat down, and I stood up, and I spoke down to him, and I just let him have it. And I had so many profanities, and I don't do that.
No,
okay? Like, hey,
you know, Kevin, he hardly ever curses, and
yeah, when I do it, there's a reason. Yeah. But I don't just do it just for fun of doing it.
I do, by the way.
Yeah, some people, if you ever meet my mother, all right. So, but some people.
He does. It is. I have.
curse like a sailor. I don't. But if I am angry enough, I will. And so I was like letting him have it. I was like, what is your problem? What have you been doing? And I'm just like, we're talking at this point, maybe 2 or 3 months, maybe more, maybe 4 months worth of just built up anger at why are you trying to derail me? And like I said, I had kind of tried light-handedly to get him to stop, and he wasn't getting the message. And I just tore into the guy. I don't know if it was the right thing or the wrong thing to do, but I did.
You guys decide down in the comments below. Tell us if it was the right thing or the wrong thing to do.
Yeah,
the gentleman was giving him more trouble, it seems, than even the wonderful Mary.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But on a scale of 0 to Mary,
how many Marys? Yeah, that's mean to Mary. But yes, it was bad. It was very frustrating and upsetting. And I mean, he, like I said, I don't know a better way to describe it, but he was really truly trying to sabotage me.
That's a shame.
And I said that. I said that to him. I just laid into him. I said, you have no idea. My shuttle is done, so I will move my camera up.
All right.
Shuttle, by the way. Thank you, Lego designers.
They did good on that one. Throw it against the wall. See what happens.
Anything can fall one time. So I was like, man, you have no idea how hard I've worked for how many years. I've tried to get this role, and I'm finally here. And I remember saying this. I said, I will not be robbed of this because of someone like you. And I remember I was like pointing at him. I was like, I will not let this opportunity finally go away because of someone like you. And he wasn't really responding. He was listening. I was just going off, and he got emotional. And
emotional. Did he just start crying?
there was tears. There was tears involved.
Was he crying, or was he weeping, or was he just boohoo crying?
No, it's not like he was sobbing uncontrollably.
Okay.
But he was upset. He started crying, and he
was it anger tears? Tears of anger?
It was definitely because he was kind of shaking, but I don't know if that's just like the testosterone and adrenaline and everything's pumping, and you're angry, you're scared, you're all these things.
Yeah.
I mean, I was definitely had some adrenaline going.
Were you crying?
I was not crying.
Okay.
I was not crying.
Okay.
But he was very upset. I was upset. And I was like, and I told him, he was not happy when I told him I had called his old boss. And I said, I don't know how to handle, I don't know what to do with you. I have called. And I think one of the last things I said was, of course, paraphrasing. I'm like, if you don't figure out what you need to do and help support me and to make this store a better store, I'll find someone else and you can move your ass back to Maryland. And it was something along those lines. And one other thing I had done before this, I didn't know I was going to do this. I was not planning, but I knew I had a problem. I knew there was a major problem with Jeff. I just didn't know. But like a day or two before, I actually had also a phone call with my district manager. And I was like, what do I do about this guy? And I explained it all. And she also could sense a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me, she was like, I'll support your decision. If you don't think he's the right person, whatever. I didn't know I was going to sit there and have this huge outbreak with him because the other thing happened. But so, of course, I threw that in too. I'm like, and I've talked to her on the phone and we're ready to send you back. I mean, I'm just like, I was embellishing and throwing out other stuff. But that was a come to Jesus moment for Joe.
If you have ever had one of these folks, it's not fun. If you've ever been the one that had to give it, it's not fun. No one really wins in the situation. It sucks, but it is definitely part of the retail workplace.
Yeah.
I never got one, but I listened as someone else got one behind the corner of Walmart. And I was just like, my ears were burning because I felt so bad for that person.
Yeah, so
what they had to do in life was do better.
Yeah.
They weren't even being conniving. They were just dumb.
Yeah.
It happens, folks.
That happens too. And I'll say that from that moment on,
mm-hmm.
Did our relationship get better? Absolutely. Absolutely got better. Did it ever get to like 100%, right hand man, you got my back, No, never got there. I did not have that experience until I moved again, which we'll get into later. But and also to answer or also to echo the question you asked earlier, is Jeff still with Lego?
Yeah.
No, Jeff is not with Lego. He ended up when I left,
mm-hmm.
which we'll get to a little bit later. He did apply to be store manager in my place.
Yeah.
He didn't get it, and he did.
Again, go figure. And I'm not even forget whatever happened between the two of you, ladies and gentlemen. It is blaringly obvious that if you're an assistant manager at the store you want to be at, Lego will not hire you to be the store manager at the same store.
Yeah, doesn't seem to happen.
Does not seem to happen. This is the 18th situation where this has happened.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to happen.
Lego is frustrating the hell out of me right now with that one.
I'm sorry. And again, this is important to me.
Mm-hmm.
The purpose of this is not to throw any companies under. This is just, it's a telling of true events. That's all it is.
There is no shade to be thrown.
No.
You make your own determinations about the company itself. This is his journey, in my opinion.
There you go. But so yeah, he stayed on for a little while, not a terribly long time, maybe a year. Okay. Probably like half a year. And then he started having some pretty significant issues with my replacement. And I think it's because we had a repeat of exactly what happened when I started. It sounded like it was like rinse and repeat, start over again.
Oh my goodness.
And so the new manager was not even going to put up with that. And so he immediately had reprimanded him officially through written warnings.
Oh, wow.
And he was immediately put on what they call an action plan, which is a 90-day straighten up or you're out, which I didn't even do that. But I don't think I ever – no, I put like one person ever on an action plan in my whole time.
And they didn't make it to the action plan. They left before.
And Jeff did not meet the criteria by the 90 days.
Hmm.
And so he was let go, but then he moved back to Maryland. So I think he's still in Maryland to this day. But yeah, no, he's not with Lego anymore.
Did you see him at Brickbear, Virginia?
No, he's not. I don't really think he's a full.
No, okay.
I wouldn't really put him in that category.
All right.
But hey, I wish him well.
Yeah.
That was not gonna fly.
Yeah.
I was like, no. But yeah, so I think that's a good bit for today.
I think it's a great spot to call her.
We're getting into new story territory now, so it's fun.
So let me ask you this though, real quick before we get out of here. So there are more stories in Arizona because you talked about that being almost half the time you were there with him.
Yeah, I know, right? There's a few more. We could probably get one more session in.
I would love to hear a positive story. There it is.
Yeah, no, the thing about it is, as with all my experiences at Lego up to the very, very end, I learned a lot. At every step of the way. Everything that's happened has happened for a reason, and it's made me who I am.
Absolutely. I love every ounce of you too.
There it is. Thank you. No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Oh, okay then. Well, then I guess I can do my outro. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm Brick Smith. That's Kevin A. Hinkle.
Hello.
And from all of us here at Forever Sorting, I hope you have or had a good New Year.
Happy New Year. Guess what? The year of 1,000 years is finally done. Now it's time for another year of 1,000 years.
There you go. With that being said, I'm Brick Smith.
I'm Kevin.
That's Kevin. Hang on, do it again, Kevin. They didn't catch you.
That's me. Here I am again. I'm still Kevin.
All right. And remember, you got to go with bricks. Bye, everybody.